Hello everyone, my name is Miss Sarah and today we will be learning about rhetorical appeals. Also, how authors might use these devices to persuade the reader. So what exactly are rhetorical appeals? They're tools that an author uses when writing a text, whether that be an article, novel, or even a speech, to persuade the reader. There are three types: ethos, pathos, and logos, which we'll go ahead and go a bit more in depth on. First up, we have ethos, which is a writer's use of credibility and authority from either themselves or a credited source, such as a professor or a doctor, to persuade readers. A good example of this is, as a doctor with over 20 years of experience in cardiology, I can confidently say that maintaining a healthy diet and regular exercise are essential for heart health. And the way we know that this is ethos is that in that very first part where he states that she is a doctor with 20 years of experience, she's establishing that she is an expert in the subject and that she is reliable. Now next we have pathos, which is the appeal that uses emotion to persuade or connect an audience to the text. They might do this by pulling at one's heartstrings, spiking adrenaline, or inciting frustration. One example I've come up with is, many children go to bed hungry every night, unsure of when their next meal will come. Make a difference by donating to your local food bank today. And so, the pathos in this call to action is in the very first sentence because the thought of starving children is going to make most people upset and want to do something to help, which is the purpose of the ad in the end. Finally, we have logos, which is a persuasive technique that uses facts, reasoning, and evidence to support an argument. This might be in the form of statistics, a quote from a scholarly source, etc. A good example of logos would be, studies show that students who read for at least 30 minutes a day score 20% higher on standardized tests than those who don't. By incorporating daily reading into your routine, you can improve comprehension and critical thinking skills. The logos in this example is in the form of the statistics in the first sentence. Now that you've been given the definition of the three appeals and some examples, it's your turn to decide which appeal is used in the following three advertisements. For time's sake, I've clipped them to only the necessary portions, and I'd like you to pause after each video finishes playing and decide for yourself which appeal you think is being used. And following each, I will give the answer. Alright, ready? If you said pathos, you'd be correct. The use of the puppy and the melancholy background music are both examples of pathos. Okay, for this one, if you said ethos, you're correct. Showing a popular celebrity such as Drake endorsing and using your product is an excellent way to convince viewers that it is worth buying. For this last one, if you said logos, you are correct. Using statistics and logic is a great way to get people to trust your advertisement. Alright, one more thing to think about is what appeal or appeals you should use in different scenarios, based on what the purpose is of your article, essay, speech, advertisement, etc. For example, which appeal or appeals might Aubrey choose to use in her scholarly research paper on biogenesis? Take a moment and think about it. Pause this video if needed. The appeals she should use for her paper would be ethos and logos. Using pathos might make the paper seem too informal and likely wouldn't do much to convince the reader that she is credible. Another example, which appeal or appeals might Jack use to raise donations for his local dog shelter? In this scenario, Jack would likely use either pathos and or logos to garner support for his cause. Alright everyone, I hope that after this lesson you love rhetorical appeals as much as I do. Thanks for watching, and I hope you were able to use these appeals to help your writing in the future. Good luck!